Woo! It's cold. Oh. Hiding ain't gonna stop shit. You little perverted fucks. Ain't gonna stop a goddamn thing. I don't care how you take it either. Take it. Worried about how you take it, days are long over. Long over. I think they perverted our bloodline. You can't do that, you stupid fucks. Idiots. Fucking stupid. You really can't make this shit up. So goddamn dumb. Scary asses. Well, I'm just enticing your ignorance now. Damn cow. A damn cow. We gotta stop beating him. How are we doing it? How are they doing it? Every time you little goopy trolls come, every time somebody's sitting there defeating me, even though I tell you, you'll continue, and I'll be gratuitously grateful. Let's put this up, because I don't want them all in my face. But they're too stupid to know any better. The majority of them are very stupid. Most of these idiots right here come from California. I was going to go to EOS. I might do that afterwards, after I make my steak, or my shrimps, or my fish, whatever I decide to eat after this. But let me put this up. Have it nice and little dark in here. Yeah, I like it dark. Yeah. I hope some decent people come in, or the idiots can pop in first. It's good. I like that too. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hang there. Hang in there the best you can. How are you today? Just information sharing. That's all it is this morning. This AM. Well, I could say morning because the world is in mourning. It's terribly so. So, grand morning. I'm well. Whatever that means. Oh, that's good. Got a little energy now. Mylar. And I'm so stupid to come over and hijack a live. I thought y'all were much more brighter and intelligent. But it is as it was written long ago. Y'all are not. There's nothing I can do about that. It's not on me. The illusion is but a moment. And not figuratively. Tom, what's happening, baby? What's going on, brother? Yeah, they had to come in and do their little two scoop badoop doop, you know what I mean? Scary asses. Excuse my language. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. Some people are so full of perversions that they can't free themselves by partially themselves off with individuals who they can circumvent and be at peace with, pleasure or whatever. So they go outside and they allow themselves to be outside themselves. Instead of being internal, they go external, as if they're going to find something. And they never do. Pretty pathetic. Let's see if we can get some of these tough asses in here, you know. Timmy's at work. No music today. Because I'm ever going to the gym. And I just want to break some information off or conversation or whatever. Did you know that we're Did you know that when it's not? They got like duplicate accounts. You gotta be kidding me. That's pretty stupid. The AI is a trip, y'all. The AI's like, Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to come in and speak up if they choose to, or I'm just waiting for them to come on in and speak up. I can't play into that stupid stuff. That's not stupid. It's passion. There's thoughts and belief behind all this ice stuff and all this other stuff. I can dig it. I just want to read something, and I'm gonna get ready to go on the gym. I have my little morning tobacco on my green tea. That's my boost. I don't do, and I take L-arginine. Helps get rid of a little, natural form is, through red and certain vegetables. But I take out of the 4, I take like 2 pills. And usually when you go to urine, you could smell your liver and everything processing a lot of the it's like ammonia. It's very strong. And the arginine, it's not the arginine. It's what it does. But cheers to you guys. It's my little morning green tea. Oh, happy belief. Oh. Strong. Oh, it's fabulous. Green tea. I like Japanese. Well, I have it up in the back. I just didn't feel like pulling out the friggin' bag. Well, it's a little bag with teas and stuff. So I like Tazo. Tazo is my second compared to the original Japanese green tea. We used to go green tea here. It's just, and we'll talk about the frauds a little bit. But I'm gonna read something to you guys that may be beneficial, all right, by the signs of the sacred secretion. And hopefully it'll be beneficial. Yo, Tolo, what's up, mama? Hey, Jackson Lowe, what's up, man? I know, what's up, family? How you doing, brother? I honestly, anyone that doesn't have even a drop of an ancestor should not be here. I feel a little different. I feel a little different, Tom, and I'm explaining that. I'm gonna let a few more people get. I know people are very strongly emotionally and everything. I've already proved that there are light-skinned folks who are still labeled Negro and Black. They have E1, B1. They have our blood mark. They don't have the R1, none of that. They're blue-eyed, gray, green eyes. Some other eyes change. Pudgy noses and fat lips, though. And the women are built like our sisters, mostly. I'm telling you, I took Ricky Carla. They've all come in here and they were like, yeah, he took us there. I took them and showed them these pale skins who were nothing but niggas. Well, Negroes. Like I told, when I was telling people about Cathay, nobody knew about it. Nobody, even in the colleges. I was doing that over 30 years ago because I got Han in my family, dark, and my cousins, I know them. They darker than me, Chinese or Han from the Qing Dynasty, the Boxer Rebellion. A lot of my relatives were murdered over there by these fake American and Russian and these fake Hindus who had the Brahmin betrayers who were Ethiopians. I'm slowly just going to keep pulling back the cabbage for you guys. Green tea, oh my goodness. And what's funny is since I've been doing this, over 4,500 videos, I could see that the frauds, they're emotionally stable. I enjoyed watching that dumb Ethiopian stand up in that tank who was bulldozing the Palestinians' homes because the idiot Ethiopian probably has Semitic bloodline, but because he wants to be so damn pale and part of this fake jury, he got exactly what he had coming. Boom. Just like the ones that were up there who were going over there to steal land, they don't have to steal. I have Ethiopian brothers who are here who detest a quarter of their people. It's like the people who call themselves Hindu. And I've said that because, I always do a little bit at a time. The Brahmins are the traders. They create the caste system just like here. Like they sell out Jesse Jackson, and Louis Farrakhan plays on the wire, and he's a sellout too. And when everybody heard me saying, the Hindu so-called brown people or Ethiopians, Upper Ethiopia, they said, no way. Now everybody's digging deep and they're going, oh shit, is Khalif or Red Wolf? Is he right? Yes, my other name is Khalif, given to me by a royal. Believe what you want. Look up the term, what it means. Anyway, I want to read a little bit about it. I'm going to go over something I went over, about a little over a year ago, and I reiterate it. But a lot of pale skins are our relations. They come from us. Our sisters and us. We can create pale skins. They cannot create us. The Zionists had to put. If you look at the bibliography, I don't like people being too ignorant against it because majority of people are ignorant against it because they never read it. They're too lazy to read it. They're too lazy to discern what's in there because usury changed many things in there. But I want y'all to know that your story is everywhere on earth. It's just upside down, inverted, backwards, and reverse. You've got to untie the knot. The majority of our people, I would say 90%, claim to be Indian or autochthonous, whatever, will not untie the knot. 90% will not. It is not indicative to them. It is not within them. Y'all are destroyers. You just don't know that you're a destroyer. They are warlike. You are a destroyer. But regardless of that, many have flipped over, and because they want to be comfortable, fear, death, which is inevitable, sadly, in this moment, in this presence, which is happening every second. You can't escape it. And now it's coming out more and more that these bastards gave you a shot. They've been working on these shots for decades. They knew exactly what they were pumping into your system by experiments through the prisons and everything. Y'all had no idea because you're just always going and picking up the bodies at the morgue, incinerating this, that, and other, in utter ignorance because you like everybody else to do the work, which our ancestors never did. Let me tell you how they did this. They waited until the elders of Zion, the real ones, grew old, 1,000, 1,500 years, and they gave up the ghost. That's what our people used to do, climb up and allow themselves to go. And then our people would collect the bones. We would migrate. We allow the bones in our great cities. That we would go out on the outskirts of the Star Force and all that, and we will let them go away. And we would collect the bones because we knew the energy. And we would carry them to the next place where we would deposit them. Once that happened, they got to a place they were watching, and they said, wait a minute, now they can start murdering and then start changing the mindset. Just on that, imagine no murders. Imagine what it does when it happens. When you're going to ascend. And there they started the slow decapitation of your existence. When they say France, all those decapitations, they were melanated people, the original people of the land, not this not this fake ass narrative. Y'all seen Kilmeo showing you the original kings and queens, the ones who were beheaded. Same thing in the UK. Our last bastion of holdout was that's why I showed y'all, and y'all never looked at it. All right? The London Bridge, the last holdout with all the buildings. I'm not saying this to get everybody all aggravated and all shimmy, shimmy, cocoa puff, shimmy, shimmy, wow. No, I'm saying you must understand the past. You don't have to sit there and bathe in it, like a hot tub or a sauna. You remember it so you don't repeat it. But the most problematic part is none of you are willing to take action because you are fearful. You are scared. You're inundated with fear. And this is the coming together. Y'all have a hard time doing it. Anyway, with all that being said, let me get this tobacco out and read this little thing and then give you a little sip because I'm going to work out. I am beyond the point of I'm sore and I'm tired. I've got to change my sleeping pattern. I'll be sleeping in the heat, which is cool. I'll be butt naked. Anyway, there's all kind of beautiful apartments and everything. So hopefully in the next month and a half or so, I'll establish that. I really need to get this thing off the back of the truck so I can work on it, and you know how that goes. So next month I will be getting the jacks, regardless of who assists or not. I'll get the jacks, get them mounted, there's a storage facility where I can actually put this, and work on it. Hell, sleep in it a couple nights if need be to get it where it needs. I can sleep in my truck. I could go and get a hotel room. I can do a number of things. I'd rather, like me and T, we're looking at, some decent apartments. He'll get paid before me. I'll get paid my first check on the 23rd, which will be pretty damn big. Just they can throttle this. They can do all they want. I don't care. I'm not for or against whatever they're doing. It needs to happen. I know it doesn't make sense to people. It just makes sense to me, and that's all it needs to make sense to. When you're telling me why, and you come into an understanding about it, then you'll have a deeper understanding of your existence. Now I know some of you it's Sunday and some of you are just incapable of being patient and learning, because there are people who think they know it all, and I don't want nothing to do with people like that. Some people need the blackness, they need this, they need the rage. They don't even know what they're feeding, and they don't know what. When I say they don't know what they're feeding, they really don't. All right, what is going on? It's like, come on. I dig it. Hey, Charles, what's going on, beloved? What's happening? Let me go ahead and read this, and a little more discussion, and I don't want my phone to get too hot. Let me see if it'll sit right here on this little ledge. I don't know, why did they make this flat? They always gonna make everything all anyway. It is what it is. It might fall down, and we'll take care of it. Anyway, with me moving. And I need to get in there and work out, because I need to work out. Day and a half off. I mean, I did push-ups and stuff, but that ain't going to get it for me. So this is science of the sake of secretion, the chemical, psychological, and astronomical explanation of internal, alchemy, pear and an apple. This doesn't mean that this is the solid answer. You got to remember that when these individuals write things, they've got to make it in a way that it's a fake whiteness. They are not the alpha of anything. My pale skin brothers and sisters, you're not alpha anything. You want the first, you're not the origin, you are not. I don't care how you feel, you need to get beyond that, okay? Anyway, the science of the sake of secretion, we're going to go over this again. But before that, he has this explanation and a summary of what we read before, when it says, clearly then God refers to the universe, to the heavens above, and us as human beings, using the term human shows that they have some real learning to do. But regardless of that, beings who evolved in connection and correlation with these cosmic energies are created in the image of God. Understanding these connections is essential for the next part of the book, where we will look specifically at the science of the sacred secretion. You will notice throughout that there are clear links between the rise of the Christ oil, and the story of Christ. Following that is an explanation of how to preserve the sacred secretion. The story of Christ is your mind. That's how they've undone you. And you need to undo what they've done and reestablish yourself. All right. Following that is an explanation of how to preserve the sacred secretion to reach higher planes of consciousness. And this is supported by astronomical, biological, and biblical references. It's in there. As a summary, the story of Jesus, you'll call Yeshua, is a metaphorical one, with many layers of interpretation due to different scholars contributing to his editing, perverting it. Jesus was the Son, S-U-N, okay? Not the S-O-N, Son. Here, his life is in fact, remember they always put the halo around your head, light, you can stargaze, the sun gaze, and most of you are very unaware because you think you're going to go blind based on a lie that started around the 1920s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s, all the way up. Anyway, here his life is in fact a story of the sun's annual cycle through the earth's zodiac. And by following the teachings of Jesus, we can learn how the ancients preserved the sacred secretion and how they were able to reach levels of consciousness. Now, Emmanuel was a real individual. He was able to do this, and he transcended life itself. Able to reach levels of consciousness higher than that of most modern people. The earlier biblical texts describe our evolution, and struggle with achieving enlightenment. The latter stories of Jesus are explaining how to overcome these internal challenges, 40 days, 40 nights, challenges, everything. You know, how about Jacob, the struggle with Jacob, struggling with God, wrestling with himself, wrenching his own hip, right? Explaining how to overcome these internal changes and finding happiness within ourselves. That means to be humbled when I say wrestle with God. I don't think y'all get it, to humble yourselves. Now, in the science of the sacred secretion, right, which we're going to do in chapter 7, fortunately, some are born with spiritual immune systems that sooner or later give rejection to the illusory worldwide, and some of us are fortunate enough. Okay? View graded upon them from birth through social conditioning. They begin sensing that something is amiss and start looking, it means they're wrong, and start looking for answers. All right? Inner knowledge and anomalies, outer experiences show them a side of reality others are oblivious to, and so begin their journey of awakening. Each step of the journey is made by following the heart instead of following the crowd, and by choosing knowledge over the veils of ignorance. And that's basically what Henry Bergen says. And I would hope that some would really realize that not everybody is awakened. And you know, the CIA had to come with the woke movement and all that shit to try and defer, to distract, and all. Pay that crap no mind. Let the idiots sleep as they do, and their false control. Now, for this chapter, I have tried my best to include the science that supports the validity of the sacred secretion. It's not the CIA, it's certain partitions, APAC, you know who they are. All right, references can be found in the bibliography section at the back of this book. I also appreciate that some of the scientific vocabulary can be challenging to comprehend. Therefore, I have attempted to explain the key details as simply as I can, which can be seen in the bold. And most of it he puts in bold if you want to purchase the book and read it. As well as following natural biorhythms. There's a reason why we discussed it again yesterday about the 808 and the 340. I mean the 440. All right, it messes you up. It doesn't allow healing. It doesn't allow compassion, real thought. It doesn't allow you to step away from the perversion or see clearly. It keeps you kind of stuck in a mundane, way. Okay. The sacred secretion is a biomechanical mechanism. It is, and like all bio means living. Okay, tissue, whatever you want to call it. And like all aspects of survival, is dependent on a healthy environment. Well, you don't have that. You're eating human flesh, you're eating DNA, human DNA, you're eating synthetic shit, 3D printed shit. Even bones are 3D printed and look like the real thing. You're breathing. Look, in your homes, right? The HVAC these bastards put in there based on a fake ass law, or what you call it in your state. The HVAC, when it turns on, it brings, usually when it's spraying, it brings in for 30 minutes outside air when it's supposed to be help purify and clean your air. And it's got these raggedy, cheap ass filters. I was saying that when I was over there in Page. I went and I had shut my shit off. I had changed my filters. I had tripled up my filters. So my filters, and I had to do it. I had to open the thing up, put two in the back, do this aluminum tape thing, and then put on this thing where the air was coming into the thing, put a big, this like a truck filter, and I was up under there getting wet from the milk drip, and then all that dried up. The air was crisp coming into my apartment. Yeah. Okay. Just letting you know. All right. Anyway, following natural biology, the sacred secretion is a biomechanical mechanism, and like all aspects of survival, yes, that's right. Yo, fake ass politicians, whatever you want to call those bastards, made this contract or whatever agreement, whatever law, whatever you want to call it, where your shit is bringing in 50% of the outside air. You think that you're cleaning it, pollutant free? It's sucking it all in for half an hour out of an hour. So all that, what you think with that raggedy, thin little filter that don't do shit, yeah, you're breathing all the garbage. And if you're so smart, then fix it. All right. Anyway, the sacred secretion is a biomechanical mechanism, and like all aspects of survival, is dependent on a healthy environment. And the sacred secretion has been given many names over the millennia, including heaven on earth, Christ within, Christ oil, oil of gladness, Christos, cerebral spinal fluid, cerebral spinal fluid. I should know better, medical terminology, right? And sacred secret, excuse me. The word sacred is derived from sacral, referring to the lower part of the spinal column. You know, the little well, 5 things together, referring to the lower part of the spinal column and secret from secretion of oil from the upper brain. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? I will use these titles interchangeably, so pay attention. As a quick recap, the sacral secretion is a fluid released by the brain that travels in cerebrospinal fluid down the spinal cord. At the base of the spine, it is propelled back up towards the brain, where it is signaled by metallic compounds, magnetite, to not aluminum, to which they put in to fuck you up. All right? Excuse me. To rest in the ventricles for the 2.5 days that the moon is influencing a person's star sign. Now, hence this sacred secretion happens once a month, 12 times a year, like the sun traveling through the 12 zodiac signs and the 12 disciples following the sun. You get that? Now, when the moon rests in the constellation sign that influences the biorhythmic energy of your body at the time of birth, another interesting point to make here is that Jesus began his Father's work at 12 years old, the time of day that the sun is highest in the sky, and at which age the Christ oil can begin to be preserved within the body of an adult. Once the pineal has fully developed and was baptized at 30 years old, the chrism fluid, right? Cerebral spinal fluid, down and up. The number of degrees in each star sign constellation is 30 times 12, which alludes to 360. As mentioned previously, it is believed that the sacred secretion is the hidden story of Jesus as told by the physiological human body. And this is the true christening. Where the Bible discusses the use of olive oil on the forehead to christen a person metaphorically, we now know this is to be a representation of the Christ oil, sacred secretion, pineal gland, right? Passing the olives, hence olive oil, on each side of the medulla, in the brain hemispheres. This secretion is another natural rhythm of the physical body. It is one of the most important, as it is the rhythmic link between our physical and spiritual selves. Why do you think they got your brain all your shit calcified? Why do you think that they got to keep all these heavy metals? What do the heavy metals do? If you take a fork and you put that bitch in the socket, right? You touch the ground. What happens to your ass? So they're putting shit in there to break the natural, energy, to disrupt it, so there's no even flow. So what you got is this shit here, and y'all be spiking up and down, and you want to accept different because that's what you've been doing all your life. Okay, that's all I wanted to read. Okay, I just wanted y'all to hear that. I am sore and tired, and I'm going in here and I'm going to get it in. I'm getting some red light today too. I got to make sure I got my little eye throw this in the bag. Then later on, I'm going to enjoy me a nice podcast. Oh my goodness. I'm off today and tomorrow, so I got to look at my schedule again. All right. So I hope that is beneficial. If there's anything y'all want to question or you want to ask me, go right ahead. Okay. And the frauds, you see what they're doing. Netanyahu's a bastard. He's a fraud. He's a sick disease, like most of the individuals over there. And they have been convinced that they are something they're not, and that they're going to win and all this other shit, whatever that means. But they're frauds. Always have been and always will be. You know what I mean? What was that? A great day. Oh, yeah. Andy Willow, what's up, man? Just wanted to say salute, brother. Rather little late, so I'm going away for the live to get over. Yeah, absolutely, brother. I hear you. So, Excelsior! Away! But I hope that you guys got a clear, a decent, a clearer or a better understanding of it. And I always say, I give you sources and stuff, references, and I help as best I can to interpret things. Take the time and really look into it yourself. Don't go, and then accept it because it makes sense. Research it. See what you find out. Stop being mundane as far as terminology. Allow yourself to learn something other than the terminology given so you can see other things. And then in that, be silent or share the information with those who are willing to listen, who have converted. Well, we'll say converted, like changed back to what it should be, because you still have these idiots. Like, this is the land of Shem. It doesn't matter what you think or what you believe. This is Negro land. This is the land of Shem. And you've got people using all our material and pale skins, and they're always talking about African Americans, and we're not African. And a bunch of our people who have lost contact with the fact they come from here, who grow beards and everything else, look like us over there with their new accent, you know, and they can't get it right, because as far as they know, Africa's the motherland. I mean, Earth is the motherland, but they are so fractured. It is our duty to correct and fix that, because nobody else is going to do it. They're not going to do it. They've been using our material on YouTube like crazy. And because of these goofies that are running around in these liberal cities won't get this stuff together, and they think that it's all right. You know? I don't care about P. Diddy getting 4 years. I don't care about none of that. All these bastards are corrupt. They're sold out. They can blackmail them and everything else. And people need to see it for what it is. Or they don't have to. Right? So it's time for me to go in here and get my body a little sore. I wish they had a sauna in this mug. But anyway, I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen. I'm not coming on here rebel rousing. You got enough idiots doing that. If that's what you need, then that's what you need. You know, you got the power for speed, and oh well. It's nothing personal. It's just what it is. You know. All right. See you guys later. I gotta get in here and get this in.